Hi guys, I will be meeting with Madam Senator Imee Marcos today, and I'm super excited because she's coming. Oh my God! Hi.
I sent last year, I sent to Naga also. But I added this time also for Talisay for the fire victims. So we're fire victims. Last time I came, we also joined the senator role for my final edit now for the second, the sequel of the Made in Malacanang. Now it's Martyr or Murder. Good, so everyone does everything. It's Martyr or Murder. It's the second in the trilogy. It's a trilogy, but the first one came out already. The first one we just did as a joke because we hit 130 million with Daryl on Sentiment. We hit 130 million views, so we said, what are we gonna do next? So it was shot. No, this time we tried to take it a little more seriously because the first one was so big and unexpectedly big. So since it was so big, medyo my pressure nasa second. And some of it was shot a good deal of it was shot in Morocco, where I ended up after EDSA. Also collect some Santo Niño from before, the old ones. And I don't know, I think it blesses. I have 3 sons, so I feel like I need the Santo Niño to cover them.
Aside po sa latest nyo na project, which is the movie po ninyo, ano pong mga updated na mga projects nyo po na talagang ipupush nyo?
Well, I have the ongoing project here of Kabuhayan here in Cebu. I just met the ladies next door. So the Kabuhayan is all the stay-at-home moms. It's very hard to give work to mommies with little kids. So it's always a challenge to find them work. So I'm always trying to find things for them to do and to sell. So there's some what do you call them? The tabs from the aluminum cans from the soft drink. So they're using that with the ganchillo, and then in the summer we're starting again with the bugambilya, the bombil.
Yes.
Yeah, because the bombil they can sell it right away to the developers and also to the street vendor, and it's very easy. So it's hassle-free. And then we also have the malunggay that's planted, and then if it's dried, it can be sold to DSWD for supplemental feeding and can be inputted in the Nutribus.
Yeah, the Nutribus are back.
Yeah, so I'm pushing the Nutribus. I have a Nutribus in Cebu. Kanina it was in Naga. We were serving in Naga. But we're still on pilot basis, but by this year we should scale.
So far po, yung Nutribans ninyo na-launch ulit nung last na Made in Malacanang press con.
That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
and
So
then
far.
right now, ano po yung progress?
No, because we have to do 120 days. So we're in the process of assessing the areas where we piloted the 120 days. So it's a little tricky in the Visayas, clearly, because of the geographical conditions. Kasi kailangan daily. Hindi naman pwedeng i-deliver house to house. It has to be institution bounded. So we're still trying to figure it out because the daycare kids are not all going to school yet. And it doesn't address the 0 to 3-year-olds who don't go to daycare. So we're still trying to figure out a lot of things. It used to be kasi the old Nutribun was in DepEd in the school. But the profile of malnutrition in the Philippines has changed, and now it's much younger. It's the lactating and pregnant mommies, and then it's the 0 to 3-year-old. So it's a lot younger than school. That's the problem. And the wisdom now is that it's 0 to 7, which is the golden years for education. So kailangan maagapan before school pa. So that's the challenge now. It's much more difficult logistically because there's no place that you can bring the kids every day. They have to eat every day. It cannot be once or twice a week lang.
Yes.
So that's really the challenge. We're we're trying to figure out all these things. So that's why we are going to be assessing in the next couple of months.
Thank you po.
Or country's activity towards the Turkey and Syria earthquake.
Actually, it's heartbreaking to see what's occurring in Turkey and Syria, particularly in the rebel zones, who are getting where no assistance was arriving, except very recently. I've been watching it, and each time I watch, I feel like volunteering. Because if you recall, I spent quite a bit of time in Tacloban during Yolanda, and among the charities that came were the Turkish charities who came with food, relief goods, and so much medicine. So I feel like returning the favor, and if there's a way to volunteer, I'm not kidding, I really want to help. Because we know what happened during Yolanda. So I'm actually wondering if we can contribute, and I really would like to contribute. I'm thinking perhaps psychologically, because the trauma was multi-phased in Yolanda. The teachers were trying to teach, but they had death at home. They were coping with our home, and they were coping with their colleagues because there were some teachers who passed away, and at the same time they were dealing with the children who were also not completely healthy because their parents or some members of the family had died. So that sort of trauma is something that we know very well in Tacloban, and we actually formulated guidance material for the children. So I don't know, it sounds crazy, but I really feel like we should return the favor because the Turkish charities came to Tacloban, and I think that's the least we can do.
So
that's my plan. That's my crazy plan. I don't know how to do it.
So
it's
you-
not like I don't have enough work,
So
but
you-
I want more work. I'm a lunatic.
So you will send a team to Turkey?
Yeah, actually, I started gathering the psychological material for the children because the trauma is very, very overwhelming, and a lot of children weren't able to adjust right away.
So psychologists and social workers?
Yeah, well, I'm not a soldier, so I can't help with the search and rescue. I'm not a doctor, so the lessons that we learned from Yolanda, we should share to the extent of our ability. But I don't know. I'm just thinking, and I'm gathering the material because we formulated a lot of teaching aids for the kids and for the teachers because they were having such a hard time. Yeah, it's really how to make the leap from Yolanda victim to Yolanda survivor. That's a quantum leap, and I'm certain that in Turkey, which is an even bigger disaster, they will have to overcome that. I'm not really convinced that the youth don't want to be in the rural areas, but they need to make some money, and they see how hard it is for the farmers, fishers, foresters today, so they lose hope. And I think we have to find a way to inspire them and give them hope and a future in farming. That's the important part. So actually it's very much fun because the average age of a farmer right now is 58 years old. So if you try to tell him, you should do, if you tell him that you should do all this biotech, you should go online and start marketing, you should do aquaponics, they all look at you and like, what the heck are you talking about? We've been doing this forever. We're not about to change. So what we're trying to do is bring in the younger people. We're perfectly happy to experiment. They're dying to do something different, and they're very tech savvy. And we try to take the risk out of it. Meaning, try to take the risk by helping them. I give grants of 50,000 pesos. And we try to help them with access to land because hindi pa naman sila nagmamana ng lupa, di ba? They're still sharing with the dad or the lolo or some uncle. And I try to help them with marketing. So we've given trucks and equipment also. I've been selling a lot of their stuff. And then now, after China, there's an interest in durian. the Chinese want to buy billions and billions of kilos of durian. You know, when they place an order, you panic, right?
Yes.
Because the orders are so huge, they're overwhelming, and we don't have anywhere near that much durian. Apparently, they've learned to eat durian from Thailand, but they want more. So I will be going to Davao to have a word with the kids and the large durian planters to try and propagate it as quickly as possible. It takes some time. I tried in Ilocos, not very successfully. Pihikan din, it doesn't grow everywhere. But obviously in Davao, tried and tested, they have very good durian. So we need to ratchet up the production over there. And maybe the young farmers will be the keenest to experiment as usual. They're always the pinakamalakas sa loob naman. So yeah, the young farmers is a lot of fun. The other issue that I've been going around, and tomorrow I'm going to go to West Biscom. And I'm gonna see General Arevalo and the rest of those guys, because we keep hearing about China and the United States, the escalating tensions in the Taiwan Straits, all these problems. But you and I know that at the end of the day, it's going to be Filipinos fighting for the Philippines. Hindi naman yan darating at makikipaglaban sa lupa natin. Ang ending niyan, Filipino pa rin para sa Filipino. So, like my father before, I think the only answer is to ratchet up the self-reliant defense program again. Like before we had our own rockets. We were putting up all the missiles. We had a lot of Morton rounds. We had started producing a lot of M16s, all that stuff. And then it all wound down, and now everything is imported, which is quite alarming. We also used to produce a lot of mini cruisers, a lot of hovercraft, a lot of jiffy boats, many boats that were being used, particularly in the Visayas and Cebu and Leyte region. Our shipbuilding was already there, and then the mini cruiser was already being exported, and then it was all more or less neglected. Now we realize that we need to be on our own, because foreigners should only give us what they have extra, or what they call the excess defense article, the EDA. They don't give us stuff that we need. So that's the problem. The EDA is like, old trucks after Balikatan and stuff like that. What I would like is to see our soldiers better armed, better able to defend ourselves. Kasi alam naman natin, babagsak din sa atin yan. Hindi naman sila magpapadala ng tao, di ba? Tayo rin yan. So, you probably know, this is very personal and real to us in Ilocos. We're only 400 kilometers away from Taiwan, whereas Manila is 550 kilometers. So, magkaroon ng bakbakan. As a matter of fact, nagkakaroon na kami sa mga beach sa Ilocos. We're already deriving warnings not to go to the beach because there's potentially radioactive material because of certain exercises in Taiwan. Whether true or not, it's a safety precaution that we're happy to take. Nakatakot eh. We're so near. We should, if only to protect Filipino people. We also have 200,000 Filipinos in Taiwan. And we have to be ready. That's a very large number. We don't even have the ships to bring them home. So it's all very, very scary. And you and I know, like I keep saying, it's gonna be Filipinos for Filipinos. We have to find a solution among ourselves.